New year, new watch list. 2026 is starting off strong with multiple big movies and series worth checking out this January. I've narrowed it down to the biggest releases to keep on your radar, starting with the return of one of 2025's most acclaimed series. This is the high-pressure ER drama called The Pitt, the series about the daily lives of a trauma team in a Pittsburgh hospital. The first season of the HBO Max series was extremely tense and chaotic and was by far one of the most critically acclaimed series out last year. I did happen to check out the first season myself, and I'll say, if you're not into medical dramas, this one probably won't change your mind, but if you do get even a slight enjoyment out of medical shows, The Pitt is arguably the best you'll find on TV today. And next up is something you don't see very often, a sequel to a disaster movie.
Well, what is that? Storm?
That's not a storm. Allison! Jump onto something!
This is Greenland 2 Migration, a sequel to the 2020 film about a global catastrophe in which a comet breaks up and hits the Earth. Part 2 shows the aftermath of the disaster, with people trying to figure out how to move on. The first Greenland was a solid disaster movie, and the sequel looks more like a post-apocalyptic survival thriller. If you're interested, you can check out Greenland 2 Migration in theaters on January 9th. Then one of the most tense spy thrillers on TV today makes its return this month. It's Tehran Season 3, the series about the Mossad agent trapped in Tehran fighting to survive and complete her mission. Season 3 actually dropped a long time ago in Israel, but it's finally getting a wider release. You can check it out on Apple TV Plus when it premieres on the 9th. And speaking of spy thrillers, another good one is making its return this month after nearly a decade away.
Teddy is smuggling arms into Colombia.
Calls himself Richard Roper's true disciple.
And I think British intelligence is helping him.
This is The Night Manager Season 2, which brings back Tom Hiddleston as Jonathan Pine, the former British soldier who gets pulled back into the world of intelligence and arms dealers after years off the grid. The Night Manager was a very high-quality spy series and comes from a John le Carré novel, the Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy author. Season 2 drops on Prime on the 11th in most places, but you can catch it a little bit earlier in the UK on BBC One on January 1st. Next up, if you're down for a good pressure cooker thriller series, you might really enjoy this next one. It's Hijack Season 2, bringing back Idris Elba as a master negotiator who gets pulled into another high-stakes crisis. Season 2 is set to premiere on Apple TV Plus on January 14th. And if you liked last year's reboot of the 28 Days Later franchise, the next chapter drops this month, The Bone Temple. It was shot back-to-back with 28 Years Later and appears to be picking up right after the end of that movie. 28 Years was definitely a good watch if you're a zombie fan, throwing in a lot of twists on the well-worn formula. So I suppose if you enjoyed that one, The Bone Temple should be worth checking out too. It hits theaters on the 16th. The Netflix is starting its year off with a star-studded crime thriller movie.
How much was the tip that came in?
300 grand.
That's a $20 million rip.
This is The Rip, and it's about a team of Miami cops who find millions in cash inside a stash house, causing paranoia to set in and loyalties to crack. It stars Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. It looks like a tense street-level crime story that's all about pressure, suspicion, and things spiraling out of control. The Rip releases globally on Netflix on January 16th. Then a couple days later, one of the biggest news shows of early 2026 is dropping. It's called A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the Hedge Night, and it's a prequel to the fantasy drama Game of Thrones. It takes place about a century earlier and follows a low-born knight named Sir Duncan the Tall, who hits the road and goes on adventures with his young squire Egg. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is definitely a smaller scale, more character-driven Westeros story than we've seen before, but it should be a must-see if you enjoyed Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon. It will be 6 episodes and premieres on HBO on the 18th. And sci-fi fans have a lot to look forward to in 2026 with several big projects set to drop. The first of those is a new movie that's giving me some Minority Report vibes.
You're before this court today charged with the murder of your wife.
I loved my wife. I didn't hurt her.
If you are innocent, prove it.
This is Mercy, a sci-fi thriller about a detective who is put on trial for murdering his wife and has 90 minutes to prove he's innocent before an AI judge decides his fate. Mercy stars Chris Pratt and Rebecca Ferguson and is scheduled to hit theaters on the 23rd. And then if you're a big horror fan or into the Silent Hill franchise, you'll probably be happy to hear it's returning to the big screens. This is called Return to Silent Hill and is based on the video game Silent Hill 2 and follows a man who receives a mysterious letter that pulls him into a town twisted by an unknown evil. You can check out Return to Silent Hill in theaters on the 23rd. Then if you stuck with the video this long, I've got a few bonus releases for you. The first of those is a new Marvel series called Wonder Man, which is about an actor who gets pulled into superhero chaos. Then there's Shrinking Season 3, which brings back the feel-good comedy drama with more messy therapy, grief, and laughs. And after that is Bridgerton Season 4, the next big romance chapter of Netflix's hit romantic history series. That's all I've got for you today. I'd love to hear what you're looking forward to the most. Feel free to hit me up in the comments below. Thanks as always for watching. I will see you again soon.